Different strategies work for different students. However, the ones I am suggesting this year are generally effective for most students based on research and experience. I do want you to give these approaches a fair try. To help with that, I will often make suggested study strategies mandatory for a portion of the year. This is true of the Cornell note-taking system. I will check in to see how it is going for you. If you would like to make adjustments, let me know and we can discuss. This is a review of information you already learned when watching the video to prepare the 20 sheets of paper for Cornell note-taking. In class, take notes on the right-hand side, leaving this side blank. For homework, use the left side to create self-quiz questions. It is important to review within 24 hours of taking your notes. Fill in any gaps in your notes when you do that review. This is considered an active learning strategy. This information is new, and yet I suspect many of you already do this. 1, don't cram. Give yourself space. Neatness helps. Don't use the back side of the paper. Now, I am an environmentalist. I don't like waste, but your education is pretty important. And by using the back side, pens sometimes bleed through the page. It affects the neatness of your work. So leave the back side blank. Use abbreviations and symbols. And fill in gaps later in the day when reviewing and preparing left-hand column questions. When we begin to discuss the Boston Massacre through the battles of Lexington and Concord, your notes might look something like this. First, they are dated. Second, one of the suggestions was don't cram. There's plenty of space between points. Give yourself the space. It'll help with neatness, and if you wanted to add in additional details later, you've given yourself the space to do that. Use abbreviations. The T-tax actually went down. The number of troops went up. Here, BR, underline, E, underline, India Company. Now, if the teacher was moving quickly through the lecture, which won't happen in this class, but it's good to get practice at abbreviations. So if the teacher is moving quickly through the lecture, you might want to abbreviate. And then later in the day, go back and write out British East India Company. Now, the important thing in doing this is to be certain that you will remember what you meant when you wrote that in class when you go back to take a look at it hours later. Same thing here, closed Boston Harbor. No taxation without representation. And emphasizing points like circling massacre, because we talked about the idea of that being perhaps propaganda. So these are just some suggestions to consider when taking your own in-class notes.